Today, I am taking you to meet Chef Leland Garner, who is the chef de cuisine at Mondavi Tower, and I'm very excited to introduce you to him.
So my name is Leland Garner. I am the chef de cuisine here at Tower, Robert Mondavi. So I would say my earliest memory deciding to be a chef was with my grandmother as a young child. She told me that I had to learn how to cook. And so I love to bake. And so every Sunday we would bake together and I would help her with Sunday dinner. And so that's where my love for cooking came from.
What were some of the dishes that you served during Sunday dinner?
So she always made a cake, and so typically it was either, most of the time it was a lemon cake. And so we always make some type of cake every Sunday, or some type of dessert. And so that was my favorite part. And then the rest of it was kind of random. Sometimes it'd be like macaroni and cheese. It just kind of depends on how she felt that day.
Mm-hmm. Where did you grow up, just to give us a sense of place?
So I grew up in Stockton, California.
Was there a connection to place in terms of food, or was it more like you were enjoying your kind of family's traditional?
I would say I was enjoying more of my family's tradition. Every Sunday my grandmother liked our family to get together and sit down for one dinner throughout the week, because everyone's busy, everyone has things to do, and so that was the one day a week everyone had to be home, and we had to sit at the table and have a meal together.
Do you have a big family?
Actually, our family's fairly small, and so maybe that's why she wanted us to, always get together and sit down and have a meal, because we're such a small family, but we're always busy. Some live in Sacramento, some live in Stockton, and so everyone would come home every Sunday to have dinner. And so it was just a family tradition growing up.
That's so beautiful. And so you loved to bake initially.
Yes.
And what did you love about baking?
I don't know. There's just something about baking. I just love making desserts. And still to this day, I do a lot of baking and I do a lot of the desserts here at Argent Tower. And just something about the creativity of desserts and, being more precise. And I have a huge sweet tooth, so.
I relate to that. What are, aside from lemon cake, which is one of my favorites as well, what do you enjoy most when you're baking?
It just kind of depends on how I feel, if I've been inspired by something. Recently it was cookies, and so I went on this thing about try to find all these different cookie recipes and try to find the best cookie recipe and make it. Also, one of the things my grandmother loved to cook was peach cobbler. I don't know how to make it, but that was another thing that she made that I used to help her with, but I never quite made it myself. But I love all type of pastry.
And so it sounds like when you're looking at recipes, you're looking for the best. And now that you're chef de cuisine here at Argent Tower, does that kind of fuel your desire to create kind of the best of what you have available, the best of what you can share with guests?
I would say yes, because we have recipes that are standard here, but I may go out to eat and have the same pasta or the same dish or very similar, but maybe they did something slightly different, and theirs are slightly better, and there's components of theirs that are better than ours, and so we always want to go back to the drawing board and make it better. Just because we do something here doesn't mean it's the best. We're always learning. We can continue to learn and get better, and so that's our goal, is to always discover recipes that we're doing that we can make better.
And so tell me a little bit about your journey of getting here, your career journey, and where it started and where you've worked, and how maybe that desire for always getting better has led you to where you're at now.
So my culinary career started, went to junior college in Stockton, Delta College, and I did a program there, and that's where the fire really was lit and started. The instructor there was amazing. It helped me to pursue going to the California Culinary Academy in San Francisco. I got hired at a place called Wine and Roses in Lodi, and I worked there for many years. And it was my first introduction to wine. And so getting to learn wine and food pairings was pretty exciting. And so I always wanted to come work to Napa. I worked in San Francisco, I've never worked in Napa. And so I knew this chef at Franciscan Estates back then, who is our culinary director now, Brett. And so he called me up and he had a position available. And so I came up and started working with him. And then, it turned into Prisoner, and that was with Prisoner for the last 9 years. And so now I'm chef de cuisine of Argent Tower. And so it's been a journey, but it's definitely been well worth it, and a lot of fun.
I also love the kind of plug for community college and how accessible all kinds of trades and education are. Do you feel like the path to getting to where you are now was in some ways like happenstance because you happened upon this program in college, or was it something that you always knew that you wanted?
Prior to that, graduating from high school, I went to I was into mechanics, and I graduated from my program, and I was at the college basically just to do some, I wanted to transfer to Wyoming to a hot rod school, and so I needed some extra credits, and I was just basically there for that.
Wow.
In the meantime, I was taking a home ec class, and the teacher thought I was good at cooking, and I was doing a great job in the class, that she thought it'd be worth me talking to the chef instructor of the culinary program. And I said, "Lady, you are crazy." I never really thought about it. I love cooking, but I never thought about really doing it professionally. And so I did it. I respect her decision, so I did it. I went and talked to the culinary instructor, and I signed up.
Wow.
I signed up the next day, and I've been cooking for over 20 years now.
Wow.
And so I would say the program really, really helped me a lot. It allowed me to get my feet in the industry, learn at a reasonable cost compared to going all in into culinary school and deciding that it really is not for you. And so it allows you to kind of go to school, work in the industry, see if you really love it. Because I feel like this is an industry where you have to love it, not just like it. It's a lifestyle, not just a career. And so, I thought that the junior college was a huge help in my success.
Yeah. Okay, last question. When you say that working in food is a lifestyle, not a career, can you tell me more about what that means for you?
Yeah, so I say I work 7 days a week because if I do have a day off, I'm reading books, new techniques. I'm going to restaurants to eat and discover new dishes, new cuisines. And so it's a non-stop thing. You're always trying to push. You're taking cooking classes. If you don't know anything about pasta or you need to brush up on it, I'm taking classes on that. I'm taking classes on fermenting to, just always learn something or polish something I haven't done in a long time. And so it's a lot. I feel like it's a lifestyle. You're cooking dishes at home and forcing your family to eat the food, and it doesn't always turn out great, So.
Yeah. It brings to mind, I know I said that was my last question, but I think Ruth Reichel said that every good cook needs a good eater. And, you mentioning cooking for your family, what are the qualities of a good eater, do you think?
Oh, goodness. One that is willing to try anything, at least a little of it. I would say that's key.
Yeah.
Because like I said, not everything turns out great, but you want them to be willing to at least try it. Not everyone's willing to try the weirder things like sweetbreads and maybe a rabbit or something like that. They might not want to eat that. So.
Yeah. So it applies to both food and life.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. That's it. That's our glazed carrots with hazelnut dukkha and pickled turnips here in Argent Tower.